Evelyn's life had been quiet ever since her husband passed away. Living on a small rural farm, on a far-off human colony, she spent her days tending to crops and animals, trying to keep the memories of her late husband, Michael, from consuming her. The world around her was strange and vast, but she had no desire for the noise of the universe. For her, Earth had become home, and in this solitude she found comfort. Yet, on one fateful night everything changed. The sound of a knock at her door jolted Evelyn from her thoughts. She hadn't expected visitors, especially not out here. The only company she had these days was the wind, the rustling leaves, and the occasional drone of a passing cargo ship from the colony. As she walked to the door, her fingers tightened around the knob. It was too late for someone to be traveling through these parts. Hesitantly, she opened it. Standing on the other side of the door was a figure she had never seen before. It was tall, almost unnaturally so, with smooth skin that shimmered faintly under the moonlight. Its eyes were large and black, deep and endless, like pools of ink. The creature had no recognizable facial features, but it gave off an aura of intense need. "Good evening," the alien said in a low, calm voice, though it was clearly not human. "I come from the Xylthor people," Evelyn froze. The Xylthor. She had heard of them. They were a dying species from a far-off galaxy, rumored to have once ruled many worlds, but now reduced to a desperate few, scavenging for survival. "I'm sorry, but I don't think you've come to the right place," Evelyn replied, instinctively reaching for the door to close it. "No." "Wait," the alien said quickly, its voice desperate now. "Please, let me explain. I mean no harm." Evelyn hesitated. She had heard stories of intergalactic beings visiting Earth, but she had never encountered one before. Part of her was curious. But another part of Hertha, part that had seen too much grief and loss, surged her to be careful. "What do you want?" she asked, her voice steady, despite the racing thoughts in her mind. The alien seemed to gather itself before answering. "I need your heart," it said simply. Evelyn's breath caught in her throat. The words didn't make sense. "My heart." "Yes," the alien confirmed, nodding slowly. "I know this is a difficult request, but without it, my people will die. Our race depends on the energy of a human heart to survive. It is the only way we can save ourselves." Evelyn stepped back, closing the door slightly, her hand still on the knob. "I don't understand. Why would you want my heart?" The alien's eyes softened, almost pleading. "You are human. Your heart is the key. I've been searching for someone like you for years. The power contained in your heart, the purity of your grief, it is what my species needs." Evelyn's head spun. Her grief? Her heart? She had just lost her husband, Michael, not long ago. The thought of losing anyone else, especially her own life, felt unbearable. "I don't know if I can help you," she said quietly, shaking her head. "Why me? Why now?" "Because you are the widow," the alien explained. "Your husband's death, this sorrow, it has unlocked something in you. Your heart is different. I know this because we have studied your species. Your kind's heart holds immense power. We Xylthar have lived for centuries, but we have become weak. The only way we can regain our strength is by taking the heart of someone like you. Only then can we restore our people." The air around them seemed to grow colder, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. Evelyn stood there, uncertain of what to do. She had never considered that her grief could have meaning beyond her own pain. Could this alien be telling the truth? Could her heart truly save an entire race? And why would she trust this creature who had shown up uninvited, asking for such a dangerous thing? "I can't just give you my heart," Evelyn said firmly, shaking her head. "I don't even know if I believe you. My heart belongs to me." The alien tilted its head, a gesture that seemed almost human, though its face remained emotionless. "I understand your hesitation, but the truth is, I have no choice. The Xylthar are dying. We are desperate. If I do not obtain the energy from your heart, my people will perish." Evelyn's mind raced. The Xylthar were an advanced species, far more capable than anything humanity had ever known. And yet here they were, begging for the very thing she had left her heart. Her connection to the world that was no longer hers. She stepped back, closing the door a little more. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I can't help you. You need to leave." "Please," the alien said, his voice low and pleading. "I am not your enemy. I do not want to hurt you. I would not ask if I had any other choice. My people are dying. I am the last of my kind, and without your heart, there is no hope for us." Evelyn closed the door softly, cutting off the alien's words. She leaned against the door, breathing heavily, her heart pounding. She didn't know what to make of this. The alien's words lingered in her mind, echoing in her thoughts like a haunting refrain. "Only your heart can save us." The idea that her heart could mean so much to an entire species felt overwhelming, almost impossible. But she had to protect herself. She had already lost Michael. The thought of giving up her life, her very heart, to some unknown alien was too much. She turned away from the door and walked to the small window overlooking the field. The wind was calm tonight, and the stars glittered in the distance, peaceful and unchanging. She longed for that kind of stillness, the comfort of a world that didn't ask her for more than she could give. But just as she was about to turn away from the window, she saw the alien standing in her yard, still waiting. His silhouette stood stark against the dim light of the stars, unmoving. For a moment, Evelyn wondered if he would ever leave. She closed her eyes, feeling the weight of his request pressing on her heart. She wasn't ready to make such a decision, but she knew one thing for sure. She couldn't allow him inside. Not yet. The thought of her heart, what it could do, what it could mean, was too much to bear. "I've made up my mind," she whispered to herself, staring at the alien silhouette in the yard. "I will not give you my heart." "I won't." The alien's figure remained still, as if it had heard her words. Evelyn could feel the tension between them, this strange, desperate creature and the widow who had already lost so much. She was caught between a kindness she could not offer and a fear she could not ignore. She stood there for a long time, trying to steady her breathing, wondering if the alien would return or if he would finally leave. Cliffhanger. Evelyn finally turned away from the window, her resolve growing stronger. She was certain of one thing. She wasn't going to give him her heart. But deep down, a sense of unease gnawed at her. Why had the alien chosen her? And what was it about her heart that made her so important? As she lay in bed that night, trying to shake the thought from her mind, a quiet voice whispered in the distance. Was the alien still out there waiting? Or had he already turned to find another, more willing victim? Evelyn closed her eyes, but sleep did not come easily. The night felt heavier than before. The night after the alien left, Evelyn couldn't shake the feeling of his eyes on her. Even though she had closed the door, even though she had refused his request, she felt as though he was still out there. Watching, waiting. She hadn't slept much, her mind racing with thoughts of the Xylthor and their desperate need for her heart. Was it possible? Could her heart really save an entire species? Evelyn had lived a quiet life, far removed from the chaos of the galaxy. But now, in the silence of her home, her heart felt heavy with the weight of the alien's words. It was morning when the knock came again. This time, Evelyn didn't hesitate. She knew who it was, and she wasn't sure what to expect. Would he come to beg? Or would he have another offer? One she couldn't refuse. She opened the door, and there he was, the alien standing tall before her. His smooth, shimmering skin almost glowed in the early light. His large, dark eyes filled with something that was close to desperation. "I know you are still unsure," he said, his voice steady but tinged with an unmistakable urgency. "But I must explain further. I must make you understand." Evelyn stared at him, her hand resting on the door, still unsure what to say. The night before, she had convinced herself that he was just a trick, a creature trying to manipulate her. But now, seeing him again, she couldn't ignore the raw truth in his voice. The pain, the need it, was real. "I don't want to hear any more lies," Evelyn said, trying to keep her voice steady. "You're asking for too much. My heart. My life. It's not something you can just take." "I would never take it without your consent," the alien replied quickly, almost too quickly. "But if you understand the full truth, perhaps you will see that you have no choice." Evelyn frowned. "What do you mean?" The alien took a deep breath, as though steeling himself for something difficult. I am the last of my kind. The Xylthor were once a mighty race, known across many worlds, but now we are nearly extinct. Over centuries, we became reliant on the energy of human hearts. We hunted and harvested them, believing it was the only way to survive. But we were wrong. Evelyn felt a chill run through her. The alien continued, his voice softer now. We thought the energy of the human heart was a gift, but it was a curse. We consumed it in an endless cycle, draining life from your people for so long that we lost ourselves. My ancestors didn't understand that a species can't live by feeding on others. The heart gives power, yes, but it also takes. We became weaker with each life we took. We were blind to what we were doing. Evelyn stood silent, trying to process what he was saying. The words didn't make sense. The Xylthar had been taking hearts from humans for centuries? Had her husband's death been part of this cycle? Could that be true? What do you mean? You lost yourselves? Evelyn asked, her voice quiet but firm. What does that mean for me? Why me? Why is my heart so special? The alien took a step forward, lowering his head slightly, almost as though in shame. I understand your confusion. It's difficult to explain, but your heart, yours specifically, has a unique energy. It's tied to the grief of loss. Your sorrow, your love, it fuels the heart in a way that nothing else can. My people, we need that energy to heal, and your heart, your grief is the final key. Evelyn felt a wave of dizziness pass over her. Her grief? She had spent years mourning the loss of Michael, her husband. Could it be that her pain, her loneliness, was the thing that made her valuable to this alien? I don't understand, Evelyn said, shaking her head. If your people are so powerful, why do you need to steal human hearts? Why haven't you found another way? The alien looked at her with deep, sorrowful eyes. We've tried, but nothing else works. The Xylthar are no longer able to regenerate without the energy from a pure human heart. And even then, it's only a temporary fix. We need a lasting solution, and you could be the one to give it to us. Evelyn's head spun. Everything about this situation felt wrong. Her heart, her sorrow, was the answer to a problem she couldn't even begin to understand. But one thing was clear. The Xylthor's existence depended on her, on what she carried within her chest. And that thought terrified her. What will happen if I don't help you? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The alien's eyes flashed with something like fear, something Evelyn hadn't expected from such a powerful being. Without your heart, my people will die. We will fade into nothing. But if you agree, if you allow me to take it, you could be the one to save us. You could be the one to give us a future. Evelyn felt the weight of his words. There was no denying the alien's desperation. But what about her own future? What about her life? She couldn't just give up everything she had left. She couldn't let her heart be the source of another's survival, but then she thought of Michael. Her husband. The life they had shared. Michael had been full of dreams, of plans, and he had been taken from her so suddenly, so violently. The idea of her heart saving another species, another race, felt like the ultimate betrayal. But was it? As the alien stood before her, waiting, Evelyn felt the pull of the choice she had to make. Was it worth sacrificing herself for the good of others? Was it her responsibility to save them, even if it meant losing everything she had left? For a moment, she thought of running, of leaving this place, and hiding from the alien and the truth. But where could she go? How could she escape the reality of what was happening? I need time, Evelyn said, stepping back from the door. I need to think about this. The alien nodded, but there was a deep sadness in his eyes. I understand. But please, hurry. My people are running out of time. Evelyn closed the door softly, and the alien stepped away. She leaned against the door, her mind spinning. The night had been difficult enough, but this was unimaginable. She had never thought her grief, her sorrow could be used to save an entire race. But now that she knew the truth, she didn't know what to do. She moved to the small window in the living room and stared out into the quiet night. The stars above twinkled, distant and cold, reminding her of how small she really was. For a brief moment, Evelyn wondered if it was possible to change the course of destiny. Was it possible to rewrite the future for both herself and the Xylthar? But then, as the alien's words echoed in her mind, another thought crept into her heart. She wasn't just a widow. She wasn't just a woman mourning the loss of her husband. She was something more, and maybe, just maybe, the key to saving not only the Xylthar, but her own humanity lay in her hands. She didn't know what the right choice was. But one thing was clear: she couldn't ignore this any longer. Whatever happened next, she would have to face it head-on. Cliffhanger. As the night grew darker, Evelyn finally made up her mind. Tomorrow, she would confront the alien again. She had a decision to make. But as the wind howled outside, Evelyn couldn't help but wonder, would her decision change the fate of the Xylthar? Or would it destroy everything she had left? The night after the alien left, Evelyn couldn't find peace. Her mind was filled with confusion and fear. The truth about the Xylthar's desperation and her own heart's role in it swirled in her thoughts. She had spent the last few days in turmoil, torn between her sympathy for this alien species and the horror of what was being asked of her. She had decided, after much hesitation, that she couldn't allow the alien to take her heart. It felt wrong in every way. The idea of sacrificing herself, her life, her very soul, just to help another race felt too overwhelming. But deep down, she knew the alien wasn't lying. There was something real in his eyes, something beyond desperation. The following morning, she prepared herself for the inevitable. She would face the alien once again, make her final decision, and send him away for good. But as the sun began to rise, she felt an unexpected sense of determination settle within her. She had thought about what the alien had said. If his people were truly so desperate, then perhaps there was another way, another solution. She wasn't going to just give up her heart and let them destroy everything she had left. There had to be another way. The knock at her door came sooner than she expected. Evelyn opened it without hesitation this time. There he stood. The alien, his eyes dark and full of that same unspoken longing, met her gaze. "I came to ask again," he said softly, his voice gentle but tinged with sadness. "Please, reconsider. My people are dying." Evelyn stared at him, heart pounding. She had made up her mind, hadn't she? But something in his tone, the way he spoke so earnestly, made her hesitate. "I've thought about it," she said, her voice steady, "and I can't give you my heart." The alien's expression faltered for a moment, but he quickly regained his composure. "I understand," he said. "But you must understand something. If you don't help us, the Xylthar will cease to exist. I am the last of my people, and without your heart, I will be alone. My kind will be gone forever." Evelyn's chest tightened at his words. Alone. She had felt alone for so long after Michael's death. The loneliness that had consumed her for years was something she didn't wish on anyone. But still, it wasn't enough to make her sacrifice herself. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice breaking, "but I can't give up my heart." The alien was silent for a moment, and Evelyn could see the sorrow in his eyes. She could feel the weight of the situation, the weight of his plea. But no matter how much sympathy she had for him, her heart still belonged to her. "I understand," the alien said again, though this time his voice was filled with resignation. "But before I go, there is something I must show you. Something you should know about your heart." Evelyn frowned, confusion sweeping over her. "What do you mean?" "What are you talking about?" The alien stepped closer, his dark eyes meeting hers with a strange intensity. "Your heart, Evelyn. It is not just like the others. It is not merely powerful because of your grief. It has been chosen, and it has a purpose. You are more than just a widow. You are the key to a much greater future." Evelyn felt a wave of confusion wash over her. "What are you saying? I don't understand." He placed a hand on his chest. "I was sent to find you for a reason. The Xylthar have known for centuries that there is one human whose heart could save us, not just by the energy it holds, but because your heart is tied to something ancient, something far older than either of us." Evelyn's breath caught in her throat. "Ancient? What are you talking about?" "The Xylthar did not just learn to harvest human hearts by accident," the alien continued. Long ago, we discovered that there was a link between our species and humanity, something that goes back to the beginning of both our races. The truth is, your people, your ancestors, played a part in the creation of the Zylthor. Your heart is not just a source of power. It is the key to restoring balance, to healing the wounds my people have caused. Evelyn's mind spun. She couldn't believe what he was saying. How could her ancestors have anything to do with this alien race? How could her heart hold the power to heal them? It didn't make sense. But the alien's words, his conviction, made her pause. He continued, his voice soft but urgent. You have always felt alone, haven't you? The grief you carry is not just yours. It is the weight of something much larger. Your ancestors made a decision long ago to keep this secret from your kind, to hide the truth of what you are. But now, you are the one who must decide. Will you allow your heart to bring the balance we need, or will you choose to let your people's legacy fade away? Evelyn stood frozen, unable to speak. The shock of the alien's words left her breathless. The idea that her heart could hold the key to so much was overwhelming. She had always felt like an ordinary woman, living a quiet life, mourning her husband. But now, she was something more. She was connected to an ancient past, tied to a fate she never could have imagined. The alien took a step back, watching her with an expression that mixed hope and sadness. If you choose not to help us, we will die. But if you do, if you give your heart to us, everything will change. You will not be alone anymore. You will find purpose, and we will be able to heal. You are the bridge between your people and ours. Evelyn closed her eyes, her thoughts racing. Could she do it? Could she truly give up her heart for the sake of another species? Could she be the one to change the fate of the Zylthar, and maybe even her own? The weight of the decision felt unbearable, but deep inside, she knew there was only one answer. She opened her eyes and looked at the alien, her voice steady. I will help you. The alien's expression softened, and a flicker of hope shone in his eyes. Thank you, he whispered. You don't know how much this means to us? Evelyn nodded slowly, her mind still reeling. She didn't know what would happen next, but she knew that she couldn't turn back. Her grief, her heart, would be the key to saving not just the Zylthor, but herself as well. As the alien stepped forward, Evelyn felt a strange warmth in her chest, a sensation unlike anything she had ever experienced before. It wasn't fear, but a deep sense of connection. She could feel her heart beating in rhythm with the alien's presence, as though they were no longer two separate beings, but one. And then, as the alien reached out to place his hand over her heart, Evelyn knew that she was making the right choice. She was not just giving away her heart. She was giving it to a future, to a possibility of something greater. In this moment, she was no longer a widow, no longer alone. She was part of something much larger than herself. Resolution. The alien's hand hovered over her heart, and Evelyn took a deep breath. As the energy between them pulsed, she felt her grief, her sorrow transform into something new, something powerful. Her heart, once broken, began to heal, not just for her own sake, but for the Zylthar. In that moment, Evelyn understood that her heart wasn't just a gift. It was a bridge. And in the silence that followed, she knew her life had changed forever. The Zylthor would survive, and so would she.